Okay, I think my part is very quick. It's
Yeah,
just
go
two
ahead. Go
references.
ahead.
If I could just present it. So I think the main one, the main wording is this one. That's the main part, which is Ali wa ithna ashar min wuldika aimatul haq, right? So this is Al-Mas'udi. He is living after Ghaiba, and so what does he say? What does he say? He says الذين أصلهم الإمامية اثنا عشرية منهم الذين أصلهم في حصر العدد ما ذكره سليم بن قيس الهلالي في كتابه الذي رواه عن عبان بن عياش ابن أبي عياش أن النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم قال لأمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام أنت وإثنى عشر من ولدك أئمة الحق ولم يروا هذا الخبر غير سليم بن قيس وعن إمامهم المنتظر ظهوره في وقتنا هذا المؤرخ به كتابنا محمد بن حسن بن علي بن محمد بن علي بن موسى بن جعفر بن محمد بن علي بن حسين بن علي بن أبي طالب رضوان الله عليهم أجمعين وأصحاب النص منهم قائلون بأن الله عز وجل لا يخلق كل عصر من إمام قائم لله بحق ظاهر أم باطن ولم يقطعوا على عدد محصور ولا وقت معين مفهوم وأن ذلك نص من الله ورسوله على اسم كل إمامه وعينه إلى أن يفنى الله عز وجل أرضا ومن عليها. So and then he talks about وإنما سموا القطعية لقطعهم على وفاة موسى بن جعفر وتركهم الوقوف عليه. So this is Al-Mas'udi explaining how the Shia, the Isna Ashari of his time, are interpreting this content, which is Ali wa Isna Ashar min Wuldika, right? So this content at least exists at the time of Mas'udi and probably even predates him. And he knows that this part is in Kitab Sulaim ibn Qais, right? That's one part. Now, just the other part. So my point here is from this we know for sure. I think it's very certain that right after Ghaiba, this hadith was used by 12ers to mean that there are 12 imams, right? That being said, there's another source um, in Shia sources. I'm not going to open them up. Rijal al-Najashi, right? So in Rijal al-Najashi, Hibbatullah bin Ahmad, that's the entry of Hibbatullah bin Ahmad. He says, bin Muhammad bin Katib Abu Nasr al-Ma'ruf bin Ibn Barniya كان يذكر أن أمه أم كلثوم بنت أبي جعفر محمد بن عثمان بن عمري سمع حديثا كثيرا وكان يطاعت الكلام ويحضر مجلس أبي الحسن بن شبيه العلوي الزيدي المذهب فعمل له كتابا وذكر أن الأئمة ثلاثة عشر مع زيد بن علي بن حسين. So the Aima, he said, are 13. وأحتج بحديث في كتاب سليم بن قيس الهلالي إن أئمة 12 من ولد أمير المؤمنين. Right? So he was using the same source. Right? Hibbatullah was also using the same source, like Ali wa 12 min wuldika, but he was interpreting it in a different way. Right? So from the Shia corpus itself, we know that there were imams, there were imamis who were interpreting this hadith to mean 12 imams, and that was the dominant view. Because the thing is, majority of the hadithographers do not mention a 13 source. Actually, the only one who mentions is Abu Tamam, and you have it, I think, in Ghadairi as well and Rijalun Najashi. But of course, in Shia books themselves, there is mention of at least one person who believed in a 13th Imam imamology. So the point itself that there were at least one or there were at least non-zero number of imamis who believed in the 13th Imam scheme is is historically true. That's in Shia books themselves.
This is not
What
correct.
the
This is not correct. This,
Yes, I don't think you
this
maybe heard some of what he was saying and some of it you didn't. Just wait, Sayyid
he,
Muhammad, before you'll
bro?
see.
Let
You'll
me
see
let
what
no,
me
he's
I
saying.
was
Also,
listening. It's
Wait,
hold
bro,
on,
let
Sayyid
me
one
Muhammad.
finish,
one
man.
second.
it's
Let me
not
finish.
correct.
Let me no 1 second to anyone. Let me finish. I'm speaking right now. Please respect. No, both Khalil and Rafi. What I am saying is that there were at least one person who claimed to be Imami and believed in 13 Imams, right? This is Hibbatullah, at least one person, right? But it is for sure, we know for a certain fact that majority of the Imamis use this hadith to take 12 Imams. The reason for that is that majority of the, even the majority of the hagiographical works fail to mention the 12 Imams. And I know, of course, we know for certain that in the Imamiyah, even before the 12 Imams, there were other schemes, that Imam is rejected. For example, Mas'udi mentions the Waqifa, or, the Qat'iyya, or there were other schemes as well. And over the time, the Imami orthodoxy, the Isnashari orthodoxy, just rejected these schemes. They did not accept these schemes based on the reasons that they had, right? So from this evidence, what we can conclude is that the Isna Ashar min Wuldika in Kitab Sulaim bin Qais al-Hilali, this probably very likely predates who? It predates Sulaim ibn Qais. Sorry, it predates al-Mas'udi, right? And if we do like a basic sort of ikma, I think like we can say actually that we can actually put it around the time of Ghaiba, or even before Ghaiba, the scheme of the 12 itself, right? Now the interpretation of the 12 for majority of the 12 verse, because even if you look at the hagiographical works, majority of the hagiographical works, for example, Kitab al-Maqalat, for example, the work of al-Baghdadi, Maqalat al-Islamiyin, for example, Firaq al-Shia, the work of al-Nawbakhti, for example, the work of al-Qummi, all these works fail to mention a 13 scheme. And it's not that they do not like they have any particular incentive to hide this 13 scheme, because like they are mentioning all these other alternate schemes that are already present, and they don't have a problem with mentioning them. So it's not like they would have a particular problem in mentioning 13 scheme. And of course, Najashi doesn't have a problem with mentioning the belief of Hibatullah either, that he believed in a 13th scheme. So um, it's interesting that as to why only Abu Tamam mentions the 13th scheme. So one possibility is that, which might be interesting, is that probably this scheme was very limited. This is why only like Abu Tamam knew about it. Or the second explanation could be that Abu Tamam himself was wrong, right? That's also a possibility. But regardless of whether Abu Tamam is right or not, since he's a he's an Ismaili hagiographer, he could be right, could be wrong. Just like other hagiographers, we know sometimes hagiographers do not fully understand the beliefs that they're representing. Regardless of that, we know for a fact that Hibatullah believed in a 13th Imam scheme and tried to at least attempted to prove it through Kitab Sulaim ibn Qais, but the other 12ers did not accept this view, right? So my view is pretty simple. What I'm saying is that majority of 12ers over the period after ghaiba, minor occultation, through consolidation, believed in the 12 scheme and interpreted this hadith in as to mean that there were 12. Right now, I don't know if somebody disagrees with me or not, but this is what my view is. So now you guys can go ahead. Jazakallah.
So I think just because Rafid unmuted first, let's go to Rafid and then Dr. Khalil. Go ahead, Sayyid.
Can I speak?
Yes, تفضل.
No, thank you. Again, I hope my connection will not mess up. The first point, the issue of Dr. Khalil, he said somewhat, this is different to our belief. Again, I want, at least he should actually, admit that this is a mistake for him to say that the statement or the wording min wuld al Hasan, which he accepts that it could be one son, then on the basis that it is translated to mean one son, for him to say this is somewhat different, the wording is somewhat different to our belief as 12ers. This is it's a mistake or it's a deliberate attempt to misrepresent the hadith. This is something that Khalil needs to admit, and his admission will imply that he has to apologize, which he has accepted or admitted that min wuldihi can mean one son. So this admission on his part, it shows for him to later on say this is somewhat different to our belief. This is a lie. This is not correct. This is a mistake. This is a misrepresentation. However you want to put it, and he should own up to that. Okay. Now the statement or the hadith in an Najash,
Sayyid
someone,
Muhammad, your voice is cutting again.
can others hear me, or is it only Hassan?
No, it is true.
Can
It does
others
kind
hear
of
me?
it comes in and goes out periodically. So that's why I was suggesting if you want to maybe type it in the chat, so there's no
Maybe
misunderstanding.
let me restart my phone. Just 2 minutes.
Okay, sure.
Just state why I disagree with Elias, because this issue of Hibatullah bin Ahmad, you cannot join it together with the statement that is found, the statement that is
Your
found in the
voice
book
is
of
cutting
Abu
a
Tamam.
lot of it, Sayyid Muhammad. A lot of it's cutting. That's why I was saying maybe at the same time, how do you know, like, maybe if you heard everything of what Ilyas was saying, like, a lot of it may have been cut for you.
Let me restart my phone. Let me restart my phone. Just 2 minutes.
Okay, sure. Dr.
Yeah,
Khalil, do
no, no. I just to be clear, in my whole discussion, I have not
you want to wait for him to return?
connected. Just a minute. Uh, am I audible?
Yeah, it's just because Muhammad Rafid had left, so I thought you
Okay.
wanted to address it to
Yes.
him.
No, that's fine. I just want to address it to the audience. In my whole discussion, I have not connected the scheme of Hibatullah to uh, the scheme that I'm talking about, the scheme which Abu Tamam mentions. They are not the same scheme, right? They are two
No,
different
they're not.
schemes.
They're not the same scheme. But
They are not the same.
yeah,
Just a minute, Khalid. They are not the same schemes, but the similarity between them is that both of them affirm that both of them are predicated on the understanding, or at least as how Khalid's positing it, on the understanding that Isna Ashar min Wuldika means 13. But the 12 verse, as I posted the link before in Al Tambih, as Mas'udi mentions, from a very early time, they were interpreting Isna Ashar min Wuldika as 12, right? But there's another reference here as well, which I want to present, and then inshallah we can talk. So
yes,
this reference is from, just a minute. This reference is from Rijalul Ghadairi, right? So in Rijalul Ghadairi as well, if you open Rijalul Ghadairi and open Ghadairi's entry on what? If you open Ghadairi's entry or in Kitab Sulaim ibn Qais, right? It's linked above. So if you open it, you'd see that this is what does Al Ghadairi say? سليم بن قيس الهلالي العامري روى عن أمير المؤمنين والحسن والحسين وعلي بن حسين عليهم السلام وينسب إليه هذا الكتاب المشهور وكان أصحابنا يقولون إن سليما لا يعرف ولا ذكر في الخبر وقد وجدت ذكره في مواضع من غير جهة كتابي ولا من رواية أبان بن عياش عنه وقد ذكر له ابن عقدة في رجال أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام أحاديث عنه والكتاب موضوع لا مغي فيه وعلى ذلك علامات فيه تدل على ما ذكرناه. Now this is the main part. منها ما ذكر أن أحمد بن أبي بكر وعظ أباه عند موته ومنها أن الأئمة 13. Right? So uh, in Ghadairi, his reading is also that Isna Ashar min Wuldika means 13, right? But this is Ghadairi's reading. Majority of Imamis, as Mas'udi tells us in his work Al-Tambih, majority of Imamis, or actually Mas'udi says all of the Imamis, they were, or the Imamiyya Ithna Ashariya, they were using Isna Ashar min Wuldika to mean 12, right? So the conclusion of this argument is very simple, that there were at least some people in the Imami community, just like there were Qat'iyya, just like there were Fathiyya, what the Imami Orthodoxy right now calls heretical groups, right? They used to use this text Isna Ashar min Wuldika to mean 12, to mean 13. But the Imami Orthodoxy that got crystallized after Ghaiba, it used it to mean 12. But my analysis is that this tradition itself probably uh, predates this thing, and that is suggested by the ikma itself if you look at the analysis of different traditions that you have. So
Yeah.
this is what my viewpoint is.
Yes, just to add to what you said, Masudi, after he quotes that hadith, Ali, oh Ali, you and the 12 of your descendants are the true Imams, after, and he describes the 12er group. He then describes another group. Do you see that?
You want me to read it?
Well, he describes another group that does not, that they're also following the same lineage, but they don't have a fixed number of Imams.
Yes, that's true.
Right? So they believe in they believe that the Mahdi is an occultation, but then he dies, and there's another Imam, there's another Imam. There's no fixed number of Imams.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
group is
yeah.
also early, and
Yes.
that group is also among one of the groups that Naubakti describes when Hassan
Yes.
Askari died,
Hmm.
right? So really, what you know from this is there's an early belief, and this is quite logical, that there would be a belief early on that Askari had a son, but he may not be the Mahdi. One of his descendants will be the Qayyim. We know this
No,
belief existed.
this is uncontroversial. This is in Firak books. This is but the thing
Absolutely.
is, the
Yeah.
just the 12 orthodoxy did not accept these claims, and these groups
Nobody's
died out.
nobody's saying
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they did, but
In which Firak
Firak
books,
Shia.
Elias? Can you
It's
produce which Firak books?
it's yeah.
Bring
Al
it.
Tambi.
Bring it.
I just put it above. I'll put it up
No,
once
no, no,
again.
no. This is not Firak. This I'm talking of Firak al-Shia.
Yeah. No, well, actually,
Bring from Firak al-Shia.
Mas'udi is also our is Isna Ashari 12, right? Is a reliable person for
No,
us. He's actually a
I'm
student
not
of Imam. But
talking. What did Mas'udi say?
let me put it one.
What did Mas'udi say? Since you
Let me
can
put
hear
it
me now,
once
I will
again.
repeat my question to Khalil. Yeah, I will repeat my question to Khalil. He accepted min Wuld al-Hasan can mean one son or many sons or descendants. So if it can mean one son, our belief, there is no problem with it. Him saying it is somewhat different to our belief, this is
yeah,
actually a misrepresentation of the hadith. Do you agree?
no, I don't.
Why don't you?
Because the hadith wording is broad enough that it could be that the son of Hassan is the Qaim, or a grandson or a later descendant of Hassan is the Qaim. And the reason why this is important is because there was a group which Masudi describes in the text that Ilyas read. There is another group that existed during this time. They don't exist now, but they existed during that time, and they believed that the Qaim would be an Imam from the descendants of Hassan and not necessarily his direct son, because they didn't have a fixed number of Imams.
Khalil,
So it's not a
Khalil,
misrepresentation.
I'm not I'm not asking you about groups. Okay, that's a separate subject. And I don't agree with what Elias has said.
It doesn't matter.
What
You're asking
Elias
me
has
on
said is
whether
completely
you're
wrong.
asking me
Yeah,
to
okay,
take
so
back
what
what
you
I
say
said,
doesn't
and I'm
matter. So
explaining.
let me speak.
No, you asked me a question.
Let me speak.
You
And
are
you're not
here
answering my
asking
question.
me to apologize for something, and I'm telling you no.
You deliberately not answering my question.
You're
Deliberately.
still cutting
You're
off.
trying to dodge. You
Bro, we can't even hear what you're saying.
Okay,
Dude, you have to fix your phone. I can't have a conversation with
you
someone whose
you're
every other
dodging
word is not audible.
you're dodging my question. This is what I'm saying. You're going
I,
to what
your
Elias said.
question
What what
was,
what
your
Elias
question
what
was,
Elias
will you
what
apologize for
Elias
what you said? I said no. How is that
what
dodging your question?
what Elias has said is utterly wrong, and I will show him how that is utterly wrong.
Okay,
Okay,
that doesn't matter. What I'm
So,
saying
I
let
is
don't
not
I'm
know.
wrong.
Before
coming.
you,
Look,
maybe you're right.
Hassan,
But
can
I
I
would
can I finish,
hold
Hassan?
on before you go to Elias's part until you hear the replays is on, so you can listen to
What
it for yourself.
what
Say Muhammad.
Elias has said is utterly wrong, and there is not one link that Elias has pinned here that I did not come across before my room. What Elias has said here, he's either appealing to Khalil or he doesn't understand what he's reading.
No, that's what I
This is
said.
what
Say
Elias is
Muhammad. He
doing.
Basically,
was
no.
actually saying that it's the opposite. I think
Hassan,
he was
let
saying the
me finish.
majority
Hassan,
Orthodox views of
let
the 12
let
verse is just 12
Hassan,
imams. That's what he was
Yeah,
saying.
but I haven't even
Hassan,
disputed
can
that. I
I?
don't even know
This is not
why
a
that's
matter.
irrelevant.
It's not a case of majority and minority. It's a
No, but
case
that's what he
of
was
a
saying. Is the
non-existent.
Orthodox view
Hassan,
is
la hawla.
12 imams. I'm just saying you can listen to the replays. Wallah,
I'm
it's
not,
on.
I'm not,
And
I'm
Malik
not,
was
look,
here.
look. No, you don't understand. He is actually buttressing Khalil's so-called historical claims that this is actually,
No,
yeah,
no,
this
no,
was actually a historical reality that he said at least one man, he used the hadith of
no,
Hibatullah in, in,
Yeah, but
uh,
he's
in
saying it's like
al-Najashi.
if there's anything, any proof, it's just one person compared to everybody else in one belief. That's just saying I'm going to be generous. If it's to be
Even in
generous, he's
that
saying
case,
maybe one person. That's it.
even Hassan, even in that case, he's wrong. Elias is wrong. Why? I will
Not
read
for
for
one
him what is
mistake,
actually written.
Sayyid Muhammad. He's. Why are you saying that he's
حسن اذا
against
بدك
us?
تقاطعني ما فيني احكي معك اذا بدك تقاطعني. بدك تهدأ شوي. اشرب قهوة. In النجاشي, it's mentioned here, بن محمد الكاتب أبو نصر المعروف all the way وكان يتعاطى الكلام ويحضر مجلس أبي الحسين بن الشبيه العلوي الزيدي المذهب فعمل له كتابا وذكر أن الأئمة 13 مع زيد الحسين. Who is this person? He's talking about أبي الحسن بن الشبيه العلوي الزيدي.
Yeah,
So a 12, I'm coming. Somebody who is supposedly a 12er, who is called Hibatullah bin Ahmad, he's attending the majlis of a Zaidi. So what did he do? He made him a book. Now, which book? How can you connect? How can you connect? I'm talking to Ilyas. How can you connect this hadith to what is found, for example, in Kitab Sulaim, or the scribal errors, or the hadith that can be interpreted in more than one way? How can you link somebody who is actually appealing to his client, his Zaidi client? He wants to make him happy, so he writes for him a book to make Zaid appears as an imam. So what, this game that is being played, when we want, we combine narrations. We bring this, and put together and say, well, they make this claim. When we want, we take hadith in isolation. This is wrong. This hadith in al-Najashi, this hadith, it doesn't prove that this person, a kitab, فَعَمِلَ لَهُ kitab. Which kitab? Do we know? Do we know which kitab? Do we know if it is from Kitab Sulaim? No, we do not know. What we can conclude is
bro.
that
This is not what I'm saying. What I,
what we can conclude from this statement in Najashi is that Hibatullah bin Ahmad, he was compromising in order to satisfy his Zaidi client.
yes, yes,
This is what
yes.
he was doing.
This is what I said as well.
Okay.
I,
So,
I think you should.
in this case,
Yeah,
this
no,
can be considered a matter of what? What is this?
bro.
This is a matter of what?
Did you
This one?
hear? Did you
You want
hear
to call
what?
it plagiarism?
Yeah, yeah. Did you hear what I said? My
I
what
heard
I'm
what you
saying is
said.
this. Yeah, what I'm saying is
For
this.
you to say, Akhi, Habibi, Ilyas, for you to say at least one person believed in this, this is even not
No,
evidence that
no,
the
no,
Hibatullah
no,
bin Ahmad
no.
himself,
Listen to
you
what
said
I'm
at
Rashid,
least one person.
even Tusi and
Akhi,
bro.
Kitab al-Ghaiba refers to a person who believes in 13.
bring it, bring it.
Okay,
Bring it.
sure.
Look,
What I am
I
saying
I
is
went
what.
wallah, I went through all these narrations. Even this hadith about Hibatullah bin Ahmad, it cannot be used. This hadith cannot be used to prove that Hibatullah bin Ahmad himself believed in 13 imams because he was a 12er. But guess what? He was a wayward person.
No, what I am
He
saying
was
is
a
this,
wayward. Like for example,
bro.
yes, like for example, Khalil goes, for example, he appears on an Al Mahdi Institute and he says, well, these are 12ers, they are listening to me. Or for example, those hired pens they have in the Agha Khan Foundation. These are the kind of people who compromise their beliefs for
What are you
whatever,
talking about? With what
all
hired
their
pens
reward.
work for the Aga Khan
Hired
Foundation?
pens,
Ilyas, can you pin?
the one
Can
you
you
mentioned,
pin?
you should,
Can you
when I'm
pin
making
what
my
I sent
statement,
you?
even though you've been pinched, you have to accept the pain, Khalil. Let me finish and then you can respond.
Bro, and
Yeah?
anything you say is like a tickle. Okay, it's not even a
Yeah,
pin.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a tickle.
That's
It
why
just
you
makes me
cannot.
laugh. That's
That's
it.
why you're not
Everybody
calm.
just
That's why
laughs
you're
at
not
you.
calm.
Like we
So
come here and
again,
we listen to you for entertainment purposes.
no, no, no. The only clown here is you because you lie.
Okay,
You're the
look,
only
look.
clown.
Yeah.
Hold
Oh,
on, hold on, hold on.
what a
One
great
second,
comeback,
one
bro.
second,
That
one
was
second.
amazing.
So we're not going to do that here, okay? We're going to leave the personal insults out. I'm not addressing any particular person. Just let's leave the personal insults out and just deal with the argument. In order to have a good faith conversation, we have to at least deal with the apparent, which means that we can't question each other's intentions. Just deal with the argument. That should stand. It should suffice.
So good. So he should not interrupt. At least when I'm treating the hadith, he should, be patient,
So
even though he's
you
been
asked me
pinned.
to give
So
something, but I
put
don't
back.
know how to
Let me
pin it.
finish. Khalil,
I don't know how to pin it for you.
I was speaking and you interrupted. So you have to be patient. So the hadith in Najashi, contrary to to kind of, the concession that Ilyas is
No,
making,
no, no,
on
brother
the
Rafet,
basis.
one minute, Rafet.
Akhi,
You need
let,
to
let me
understand,
speak. You've
bro.
spoken,
No,
Akhi.
no, man.
Akhi, even if you
No,
disagree,
but
even if you
you were
disagree with me, let me finish my statement.
no,
Let
because
me
you were
finish my
cutting
statement.
out. You didn't even hear what I was saying. You
No,
first of all,
I listened. Okay, Fadal, tell me what you were saying.
what I am saying is that the Isna Ashar min Wuldika, there were at least this person, Hibatullah, and you know who else? Ibn Ghadairi himself, who was trying to reject Kitab Sulaim ibn Qais on the basis of this hadith, and he also interpreted Isna Ashar min Wuldika as meaning 13, right? Now I am saying, and Ghazairi link is pinned above. Now I am saying is that due to in the Tanbih wal Ashraf of Al Mas'udi, who was a 12er, him mentioning that the 12er, the majority of the 12er take Ithna Ashar min Wuldika to mean 12, right? That is the evidence that 12er orthodoxy from the very early time used Isna Ashar min Wuldika to mean 12, right? But there was at least two people who used Isna Ashar min Wuldika to mean 13. Now you can obviously say that these people were serving their agenda or something like that. I agree with that actually. I think Hibatullah was, and this is what the text says, that he was following the Zaydiyya. And Al-Ghadairi, I think he wanted to just weaken Kitab Sulaim ibn Qais, and this is why he says, Imam minhum thalasa ashar. Right? So this is what I am saying. My position is that from the earliest of the times of the Imamiyya, Isna Ashariya, they believed Isna Ashar min Wuldika to mean 12. This is what I am saying, right? But it is probable that there was another group that did not keep it muqayyad, right? And like
Akhi,
I've pinned the link above as well.
we can't, you see, this is my problem, Elias. We cannot use probability to make assumptions.
No, this is
Yeah, well,
not
it's
probable.
probable.
Ghadairi.
It's probable. It's probable. My grandfather was a prophet. It's probable. So what? Ya akhi, we can't make such a statement. It's not proper. You're talking about Hibatullah bin Ahmad. He was compromised. This is not a sect. This is not Ithna Ashar Zaid Wahadiyya. the creation of Khalil Andani. Khalil Andani is a sect. Hibatullah bin Ahmad is not. He makes a book. We don't know which book. Do we know which book? No, we don't know which book. Then you go to Kitab Sulaim. Kitab Sulaim, the two hadiths that are found there. One of them is talking about Zirrul Ard. Okay, they are the anchors of the earth. It's talking about 12
No, no, no,
descendants.
no, 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 no. I am talking about the particular hadith in Kitab Sulaim ibn Qais, Isna Ashar min Wuldika. Now, even Sheikh Tusi, bro, this is like well known in all the, like it's just that 12
Look,
or Orthodoxy
the
did not.
hadith, the
Just
hadith.
let me
Elias,
finish,
you
bro.
you're not allowing me. You're not allowing me speak.
Let me
You're
just
not
finish.
allowing.
Then you speak. Let me just
No, I was speaking.
talk.
You should let me finish. I'm in your room. You
Okay,
should
just let
let
me
me finish.
say, yeah. Let me just say one sentence and then you speak.
Yeah,
The
you are
view.
trying to compromise. Which, if
No,
except if you, yeah.
I don't care about Khalil or anyone else. I'm presenting what I believe, right? Now you can criticize me for it, no problem, but I'm presenting what I believe. I don't care about what Khalil says. I care about where the evidence leads. Now, this that there was a heretical group that did not believe that the imama is muqayyad to a particular number is also, for example, in Ghaibat Tusi, Sheikh Tusi says that some say that the 11 imams who was childless, to another who deviates by saying this will increase to 13 and upwards, right? So all these heretical groups,
can you bring it?
it's pinned
It's the
pinned above,
pinned
pinned
link.
above.
Read it.
No.
So yeah, so the thing is, what the 12ers did was they did not accept their claims. This is exactly why they wrote the books on ghaiba, because they wanted to clarify these confusions. So it is possible that there were people who were believing in some all sorts of deviations. This is exactly why the books of ghaiba were written, to finish these confusions and take these confusions off from people's mind and prove to them that the imams are 12 and the last one is qaim, right? And that they are 12 in numbers and Imam Ali is the Imam. This is why they wrote these books, to make them clear to people that don't believe something else.
Elias, let me ask you a question. Do you believe there was a sect that believed in 13 imams?
No, I don't think so. I think there was a sect that believed in no number.
No, 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 no. Which sect? Do you believe there was a sect that believed in 13 imams? I'm not asking you about no number. I'm asking you one question, you answering
No,
differently.
no. I am saying no. I don't believe there was a one that they hasar at 13. I am saying I believe that there is a one that believed in no number.
No, I'm not asking you a no number. Was there a
Bro, I
sect that
already
believed in
answered
13
you.
imams?
I'm saying I
He
don't
said it two
believe.
times, Sayyid Muhammad. You heard. That's
حسن
great, Sayyid.
ماني أطرش والله مش سائلك.
Yeah.
Elias, was there a sect that believed in 13 imams?
No, I am saying I don't
Yes
believe
or
in
no?
us. No,
No, no, no.
no,
Yes or no? Yes.
no.
So there was none. There was none.
Yeah, bro, I'm saying it. No, I don't believe that.
Okay. So if there was none, so Khalil was wrong, right, by claiming 13 imam sect, a missing sect, a lost sect.
Yeah, yeah. Khalil is making a probable argument that there could have been, or based on the interpretation of Abu Tamam, right?
Okay.
But I am
Uh,
telling Khalil, telling Khalil that Abu Tamam is writing a hagiography. He may be right, he may not be right. Right? I am saying there's no impossibility in there being some a sect that believe 13
Yeah,
either. There's no
but to be
impossibility in that
fair,
either.
Abu Tamam is just a corroborator, right? The evidence comes from the texts themselves, which prima facie say 13.
Elias, can you point the relevant part in Hadith number 17 that is pinned?
Yeah. Just search up 11. You'll find it.
Naam?
If you just search 11, you will find it, or 13.
Naam. Um,
Assalamu alaikum. Just because the
okay.
text may say something doesn't mean that there were people who believed in the text saying what you think it's saying.
Bro, LRX, how else do we know history, my bro?
you see the
No, no.
problem. You see,
Here's the 1 second.
LRX,
Say bad
LRX,
ethnic.
Akhi,
طيب.
Akhi, but please, let me just say this. You know, the problem here is people are reading and they are mixing up issues. Elias brought the issue of Hibatullah bin Ahmad, who was a client of a Zaidi, and he, you know, he wants to justify what Khalil is claiming historically wrong. Now, he brings this hadith from the Ghaiba of At-Tusi. He is telling us about what people, okay, what people said or what people believed. Like, for example, to another who rejects faith by saying that our 11th was childless, does it mean this implies that there is a hadith that the 11th Imam will be
No,
childless?
no,
No, but there
Akhi,
no.
were people who
I'm not
said that.
asking
You're
you. I'm not
totally
asking
missing the
you.
point.
I'm no. You're missing the point. Let me
No,
tell you why you're
you're
missing the
missing the
point.
point. Rafa, do you not
No,
know how to
you're
read
missing the
simple
point.
things?
You're missing the point, my friend.
12er
Look,
books,
this
12er
this
books
these
always
are
tell
actually
you,
these are
they
actually very
always
these
tell
are
you,
actually this
they
these
always
are
tell you
let me
all
you
these other
see
groups who
you
believe
wallah,
things.
I have been in this room and I
That's
haven't
all
spoken
this
for
is about.
one full minute
Actually,
without
you
being
are a liar.
interrupted.
You've
I
been
haven't
speaking
spoken
more
for
than
one
me
full
and,
minute without
no,
being
you've
interrupted.
spoken more
It's
than
either
me and
Khalil will
Ilyas in
interrupt
this room.
or
Okay,
Elias will
okay,
interrupt or
You've
Hassan will
literally spoken
interrupt.
the most, Rafid. Give me a
okay. So
break.
let's
No, I've
agree.
not spoken. Wallah al-Azim,
Yes,
I've not spoken for
yes,
2 minutes without
have. Of
interruption.
course you have.
Okay, look,
No,
this is
you
what we're
because
gonna do.
you lying,
Muhammad,
Khalil. You
Muhammad,
Yeah,
liar.
yeah, yeah.
Muhammad. One
Everybody's a
second.
liar except you.
No. Only
Okay,
only Khalil and Danny who worships a man is a
Oh,
liar.
see, you
okay,
can't even behave yourself.
okay. Muhammad. Look, both of you, right? And again, I'm not address. I can't be bothered to keep track of who's doing what. Again, let's just calm down just for a bit. Minimize the personal insults. Don't question each other's intentions. Just deal with the point. So, Muhammad, look, just make your point, and then if you have a question, ask the question. Wait for the person you're addressing to complete their response. If you have any issues with what they're saying, just make a note of it. Just make a note of it. Okay. So
I
ask your
wouldn't.
question.
Yeah, they shouldn't
One second,
interrupt.
Mohammed. 1 second. Complete your question or your criticism, and then mute. Let them respond. Let them complete. Even if you hate what they're saying, make a note of what they're saying, and then when they've completed, you can respond. I know it's boring, but that's the way we're going to do it in this room, at
Yeah,
least
but
for
this
now.
should
Okay.
apply. This should apply to them also.
Yes, you're right. You're right, and I'll make sure that they comply. So, Ilyas
Yeah,
and
thank
Dr. Khalid, please wait for Mohammed to finish his point, and then once you've completed your point, they're going to respond, and you will remain muted. Thank you.
you. Now, so this hadith, for example, which Elias has pinned here, to kind of, buttress that this was a historical reality.
Stop
No,
accusing me, Rafet. Bro, stop accusing me. Talk about the
so you
point,
see,
Yeah,
man.
don't question again, Mohammed. You have to do this without being abrasive. Just deal with the point. Do not question
um,
each other's intentions.
no, you can't
Yes, you
actually tell
can.
me
You
how
just
I
deal
should.
with the argument. No, you don't
No,
question the
you
intention because
can,
you don't know. Just deal
because
with the point.
based on what Elias, the way Elias styled his presentation was kind of, to say, well, even though the 12 was actually reject this was a historical, reality, and I don't agree with this. I do not agree with this because Khalil is trying to base, this so-called historical reality by fingering our hadith. He's trying to finger our hadith and say, oh, well, your hadith proves 13 Imam sect. Now, the hadith do not prove this. Okay? The hadith do not prove this because if they are interpreted in a certain way, and if it is proven there was no scribal error, and if it is proven that the narrators did not make mistake, if it is proven, for example, like you see, for example, when he was mentioning the issue of 3 alis and 4 alis in some of the books that came after Kitab al-Kafi. Now, the manuscripts that we have of Kitab al-Kafi is sometime in the seventh, is sometimes with the manuscripts we have are from sometime in the 7th century after Hijrah. So you see, there is a very, what has been preserved from Al-Kafi is not directly from Sheikh Al-Kulaini. So in between this space, there could have been what? Errors. And this is what hadith number 6, for example, in chapter 126 proves. The hadith number 6 from the Asl, it speaks about 11 Imams from the descendant of Imam Ali salam. And this is what we find in the Asl for hadith number 17 and 18. So if all this, you cannot actually rule out scribal error, you cannot rule out the possibility of an interpretation in a way to actually prove our belief, which I was holding him to, which he hasn't answered that he was actually mistaken to say it is somewhat different to our belief. Even this link that Elias is actually, he actually pinned. Now, the Shias over the history, they said many things. And this is why, many people went astray, many people deviated, because they did not have the dalil. They didn't cling on to the hadith of the Imams. Now, this hadith number 17 here, that is actually mentioned. Okay, some say, the 11th Imam, alayhi salam, he died childless. To another who deviates by saying this will increase to 13 and upwards. And another who sins against God by saying, the spirit of the Qa'im speaks through the body of someone else. Different beliefs. Now, are we going to assume that because someone says the number of Imams will increase to 13, so therefore, whatever error or misinterpretations we have, or transmissions that we have in the hadith. So therefore, these people were clinging. We are going to make an assumption that they were clinging to those texts. Then do we have a text that, the spirit of the Qa'im speaks through the body of somebody else? Can we say there existed such a hadith? You're mixing up the presence or the existence of hadith, the existence of certain people and their aqwal. Aqwal means their statements, not necessarily based on fact or based on hadith. Then the reality about Hibatullah bin Ahmad. These are all separate issues. What you're trying to do is you're trying to combine these separate issues in order to make a case and say, oh, you know what? There's historical evidence for this. No, there is no historical evidence. These are all separate issues. If you read them together, you try to make it like a conspiracy, like what Khalil did, then yes, this is not historical. There is nothing historical about this. The
Okay.
hadith in al-Kafi, it's either misinterpretations or scribal errors. And that is what we proved yesterday.
Okay, thank you, Mohammed. So Ilyas is going to respond first. Doesn't matter if he gets anything wrong or if he says something you don't agree with. Please, everyone remain muted. Make notes of what you disagree with, okay?
No, man, I want to do a fast. I have already said it. I don't think Rafid is not understanding what I'm saying. I'm just asking him what is so triggering in saying that there were people who believed in 13 Imams. This is not
Can
even
you
a
name the
hadith.
people?
This is not even a hadith issue.
No. Can you name the people?
No, no. Well, first of all, tell me what is so triggering in believing that.
No, what is, it's not triggering, it's just a false statement. And this is the reason I am saying, I'm accusing you, Elias, that you're actually trying to endorse the claim of Khalil under the guise, of historical, reality or whatever.
Okay,
This is
so
what you're trying to do.
look, I mean, Ilyas has asked you why. What is your issue with you believing that such a group existed?
You say what?
What's the actual issue?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, so I think Ilyas is just asking, why do you have an issue with the conclusion that there probably were there was a group who believed in 13 Imams?
I will tell you, because it doesn't exist. That's number one. It's not there. It never existed. Now, for example, if you tell me there was a group that believed in 13 Imams, including Abdullah al-Aftah, this is correct. Okay? Look at what I'm saying here. If some Shias actually counted, if Khalil is mentioned, like for example, the issue of Hibatullah bin Ahmad, he included Zayd. Okay? He included who? Zayd ibn Ali. The Waqifis, some of the, not the Waqifis, the Fathis, like for example, the group of Abdullah bin Bukair. The group of Abdullah bin Bukair, what do? They consider Al-Aftah to have been an Imam, and then Imam Musa al-Kadhim alayhi salam, he took the Imama from Abdullah al-Aftah. So these people who followed Abdullah ibn Bukair, and later on, they even survived till the time of Hassan al-Askari alayhi salam. So if these people, now these are not the issues we are talking about. This is the reason when Ilyas, brought the hadith from An-Najashi, I say, Ilyas, you're trying to compromise. This is a separate issue. You're not right. You're completely wrong. Because the issue of Zayd ibn Ali, the issue of Abdullah al-Aftah, these are not the issues Khalil is dealing on or is dealing with in his presentation. He's trying to tell you that the Qa'im al-Mahdi, they are two, the Qa'im and the Mahdi, they are two different people. He makes the claim about Imam Ali not being an Imam, that there is a certain group. Imam Ali was not an Imam. The Mahdi and the Qa'im, they are two different things. They are two different people. And the Mahdi will have a son. In other words, this 13 theory of Khalil, it has to do, well, you know what, Shias, you believe in 12 Imams. Well, there were some Shias actually who wrote off Imam Ali. Oh, your 12th Imam was not the Qa'im. Oh, this is the claim of the people that follow Ahmad al-Yamani, the Iraqi con artist, who actually claimed to be, the Qa'im, and he's the son of Imam Mahdi. This is the claim of these people, the followers of al-Yamani in Iraq. We know this. So these are claims that are not, they are different to what Ilyas, is trying to bring up in order to prop a historical account for Khalil. They are different things entirely. The issue of Khalil, he's talking post Imam al-Askari. He's not talking about Abdullah bin Bukair. He's not talking about the Fathis and Abdullah al-Aftah. He's not talking about the Zaydis and Zayd bin Ali. He's not even talking about Ja'far al-Kadhab. Because even some of the Shia groups, they believe that the Imamah passed from al-Askari alayhi salam to Ja'far al-Kadhab, or from Sayyid Muhammad to Ja'far. There was a group like that. So if you go, for example, to Firaq al-Shia of al-Nawbakhti, what do you say? What do you see there? You see that there were different groups. But he did not include one that actually has to do with believing in an Imam after the 12th. Al-Nawbakhti didn't. Sharistani did not. None of this. My theory, which Ilyas did not actually point out, my theory is Abu Tammam was actually trying to create a fictional 12 group that believed in 13 Imams in order to actually project the Ismaili heresy when their 11th, who was supposed to be the 12th, Abdullah al-Mahdi, the first Fatimid caliph, he actually took power. But guess what? He gave himself the title of al-Mahdi, and then he gave the title of al-Qa'im to his son. So he separated. This is what their Fatimid Khalifa did. So they are trying to project and legitimize this distinction by saying, well, a 12 group actually existed that held on to such heresy. We don't
Bro,
find
Abu
this.
Tamam didn't believe in the Fatimids. So what kind of a point is this? Abu Tamam was a 7 Imam
Abu
Ismaili. He was
Tammam was
not.
an Ismaili.
He was a 7 Imam Ismaili. He did not believe in the Fatimids. He was
Prove it,
Karamita.
prove it, prove it, prove it.
Go read his book. Go read the
I've
whole
read
book.
his
Read
book.
all the
Prove it,
scholarship
prove it,
on him.
prove it.
He does not believe. He believes in only 7 Imams. Go read the scholarship about
Prove,
him. Go read
prove,
everything.
prove it.
No, you've made the claim.
Prove
Now
it.
you prove
Yeah,
Abu
no.
Tamam followed the Fatimids.
I'm making
You
a
prove
this
it.
is the no, just the way you're making a possibility
No,
of a 13.
you're
No,
making a positive claim about Abu Tamam,
don't be hard.
and your claim is
Don't
wrong,
be
by
hard,
the way.
Khalil.
Your claim
Don't
is
be hard.
wrong because there's no
Don't.
advantage.
No, my claim is
No,
not wrong.
okay, hold
You
on,
make a
Matthew.
lot
Can
of
I
claims,
respond
and
now?
if
This
you
guy has
cannot
literally
substantiate,
spoken the most. Now I want to respond
if
to him because he's imputed things
Yeah,
on me.
you
Mohammed.
cannot substantiate your claims, you cannot
Mohammed, let's
substantiate your claims.
I feel like you've had a good shot, right? So if you can, just let Dr. Khalil
Yeah, but why
respond.
is it okay for him to speculate, and why is it
No,
bad
it's
if I
okay, but
speculate?
that's fine. That's fine. Look,
Because
you
you
Yeah,
have
he
to
just
should
make a
stop
offer
note.
crying. He
evidence.
shouldn't
You
cry.
Make
make
a note,
okay.
Mohammed. Make a note, brother. Make a note of what you don't disagree with. I feel like you had a fair innings. Let Dr. Khalil respond, and please, everyone, just stay muted for Dr. Khalil to land.
Okay. So here's the problem. So if firstly let's see what I'm arguing. So I'm making a historical argument. I'm saying that in the formative period of 12 Shiism, in addition to the different groups that we do know about, so we know there was a group who believed in only 12 imams. We know there was a group who believed in an unfixed number of imams. We know that as well. Okay? We know there were groups who stopped at 11 imams. So none of this should be a shock to anybody that different groups existed, or at least for about 100 years. Okay? That's not news. I'm adding, my argument is an addition to our current knowledge, and I'm saying that, okay, we also had, and this is a historical argument, and historical arguments are all probabilistic, they're not deductive. So I'm saying that the best explanation for the existence of certain hadith in the corpus that we have today is that There, in fact, was a group that believed in 12 plus 1 imams, Ali being a wasi and an imam, followed by 12 of his descendants. Okay? So that is my argument. And my argument says nothing that, oh, you 12ers, your belief is wrong. I never actually say that. I don't even claim that those 13 imam teachings are sahih or mutawatir. I don't even say that. In fact, my argument assumes that the so-called the 13 Imam Hadith are not going back to the Imams, that they have been made up by this group, right? So I'm simply making a claim about a certain group that I think existed. That's it. And I don't know why that is triggering to anybody. Okay? This is not a theological claim. Now, when Rafid comes and says here, if he wants to disagree with my evidence, that's fine. Ilyas does not agree with my conclusion. He just said he didn't, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. If you think the evidence is weak, no problem, right? The problem I have is when we get these sort of pseudo arguments, which say Khalil is only arguing this because he wants to somehow, I don't know, redeem the Fatimids or something. Which this is, and I'm going to speak to that now. That is impossible, because even if we just assume that you are right on this, so I'm like, how does this work? Fatimids don't believe in Musa Kazim and his descendants as imams. All these narrations presuppose Musa is the imam after Jafar. So how does a study of a 13 imam 12er group who are Musawi, how does that bolster the Fatimids in any way? It does not, because the Fatimids would be wrong if that scheme is correct. Okay, and even if you think that, okay, so now we're saying that what, the 13th is the Qayyim instead of the 12th, and the Fatimid Mahdi, he was the 12th, but he didn't conquer the world. So now it's solved if we say that his son is the Qayyim. No, because the second Fatimid Caliph named Al Qayyim didn't conquer the world either. So this doesn't really do anything. And finally, Abu Tamam is not a Fatimid Ismaili. Okay? Abu Tamam is in 10th century Khorasan. And if you read any of the scholarship on Abu Tamam, you'll see they all talk about who he is. He is a sevener. In his book, he only has like 7 schemes. He doesn't have, he never mentions the Fatimid once. Usually, if you follow the Fatimids, in the beginning of your book, you write like a dedication to the Fatimid Imam Caliph. We don't find this in Abu Tamam, whereas we find it in Sijistani. So Rafid, if you disagree with my evidence, that's fine. You can dispute anything in the evidence, and we can have conversations. What I don't like is when you try to read between the lines and impute like a sinister intention on me. That is crossing the line. That is unethical. And then you make these false claims about Fatimids and this and that. That's my only real problem. Along with all the insults that you throw, like, you need to attack the argument. You should stop attacking people.
Okay, so please, everyone mute, stay muted unless it's Muhammad. But Shadi also just came up, Brother Muhammad. Do you want to? I'm assuming you'd be arguing from the same position. So do you want to decide among yourselves
No,
who's
I
going to
want.
respond to the?
He addressed me, so I have to respond to him.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'm not here as a group ganging up
No, I
against
understand.
anyone. Yeah, I only represent myself. So he mentioned many points. He said the best explanation for certain hadith is that there was in fact a certain group that followed in 12 plus 1 imams. Now, Khalil has repeatedly made claims that he is speaking from a historical perspective. Now, Khalil just proved that he's actually a pseudo-historian. He's not a historian, in fact. So
Muhammad,
Khalil
let's
basically...
keep. No. Hold on. We said
No,
we're not doing that.
I'm not trying to offend him. I'm actually trying to
No. But
discredit...
what it is, because
Uh,
you, obviously
That is
when
a
you make.
so
Muhammad,
Khalil
let's
basically...
keep. No. Hold on. We said
No,
we're not doing that.
I'm not trying to offend him. I'm actually trying to
No. But
discredit...
what it is, because
Uh,
you, obviously
that is
when
a
you make.
personal attack. How can you
Yeah,
say
it's
just
that?
not
How it's like,
it's
you
not a
might as well
personal
call me a
attack.
Muhammad,
retard.
just
Yeah, it
deal with
is.
the argument. Deal with the argument, Muhammad, please.
Okay, so he is claiming, to make this is not how historical readings, maybe that I should rephrase my statement. That's not how historical readings are done. This is actually not historical at all. This is more or less like imaginative, or maybe we can say, speculative. He said he didn't claim our belief is actually false. No, actually, when you are actually trying to, to say our corpus actually contains, our corpus contain, certain ahadiths that have been fabricated by a so-called, imaginative 13er group. And by the way, we've still not seen evidence, for this 13 imams sect. Neither the hadith of Hibatullah bin Ahmad proves this, which brings in the name of Zayd, nor the Fathis who add Abdullah al-Aftah, nor those who add Ja'far al-Kadhab. We haven't seen any evidence for this, alleged 13er sect after Imam al-Askari alayhi salam, indicating that the Mahdi alayhi salam had a son who will be the Qa'im, and Imam Ali is not an Imam. This is exactly the claim. We have to be specific here. This is the reason, I will repeat again, this is the reason when Ilyas brought the hadith from An-Najashi about Hibatullah bin Ahmad, I said this is not evidence. Ilyas, you've gotten it wrong. You're utterly wrong. That's what I said. Because Hibatullah bin Ahmad is talking about Zayd. The Fathis, they are talking about Abdullah al-Aftah, they are talking about Ja'far al-Kadhab as an additional imam. True, brotherly succession. We are talking, let's be specific, please. We are not going to drift from the claims that Khalil and Dani is actually, creating on the basis of speculation, and he's presenting them as historical claims. Specifically, he said there was a 13er group that he calls in Arabic, Ithna Ashar Za'id Wahadiyya. This is the claim, number one. Number two, they didn't believe Imam Ali was an imam. They did not believe Imam Ali was an imam. Did the Fathis who believed in Abdullah al-Aftah, did they not believe that Imam Ali was an imam? They did. Did Hibatullah bin Ahmad, did he not believe Imam Ali was an imam? They did. So number one, a 13er sect. Number two, they did not believe Imam Ali was an imam. Number three, they distinguish between the Qa'im and the Mahdi. In other words, the 13th imam, if we are to exclude Imam Ali, the 12th Imam is the Qa'im, the son of the Mahdi, who becomes the 11th. The 11th. These are the claims that Khalil and Dani has made. Specifically, we are not going to muddy the water, bring Najashi, bring Mas'udi, and say, oh, well, this can be a historical phenomenon, because some random people held different beliefs. Or, in At-Tusi, some people had aqwal. What is aqwal? What is the qawl? They did Tusi rahmatullahi alayhi. He didn't mention a hadith. He said they had, deviant sayings. Everybody can claim anything. So Khalil has to prove these three things. Number one, again, a 13er sect. Number two, they write off Imam Ali. Number three, they separate between the Mahdi and the Qa'im. And in other words, the Qa'im, the Mahdi is the 11th and the Qa'im is the 12th. These are specifically the claims of Andani and what he has to prove. Whoever else, is trying to muddy the water is doing a service to Khalil. And this is what I don't agree on. Then what did Khalil, state? He said, the second Fatimid Caliph also, the Qa'im, he didn't conquer the world. Yeah, this is a problem. Like I presented a hadith from the book of Qadi Nu'man. They have a hadith about, the Mahdi being the 12th. Tayyib, your Mahdi is the 11th. Well, if you remove Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba alayhi salam, then your Qa'im is the 12th. Neither of them conquered the world. This is why we say, Ismailism is not correct or is not, on the right path. So we know this. You don't have to tell us. And he kept saying, he doesn't have sinister motives and all that. When somebody is actually walking with a Nasibi like Hamid, I have a video which I shared today. Hamid was boasting, he didn't know perhaps I was recording. Hamid said, he worked with Khalil and he gave him this information so that he will make this presentation. So he's actually working with an enemy of the Ahlul Bayt. And he's telling us, I don't have sinister motives. This is not correct, Khalil. You're making a theological case. You're trying to use sneaky methods to actually attack our creed. You're working with somebody who openly insults our imams. And for your information, if I am engaging with Hamid, it is only to continuously humiliate him and to frustrate him and to make sure he has a mental breakdown. This is exactly my more. The brothers know this. You know, many of the brothers, they don't like sharing stages with Hamid. One of them is Sayyid Muhammad in the audience. Another is Sayyid Ahmad. They don't share stage with Hamid. I don't bring Hamid to the stage in order to anger my brothers. I don't bring Hamid to the stage because, you know, I want to pet him or to entertain him. I bring him so that I break him, I humiliate him, I disgrace the Nasibi. And this same person, Khalil, entertains him. Khalil is walking with him. Now, I don't know how the other Shias who also entertain
Okay,
Khalil
Mohammed.
himself,
Let's stop
how
it
they
there.
feel about this.
Let's calm down on the war with the world kind of thing. Okay, let's just calm down a bit. Shadi, because you came onto the stage, I don't want to just keep you out of the conversation. So if you wanted to say something, or if you wanted to add to what anyone else said, feel free, and then we'll go to Dr. Khalid. Just because Ilyas mentioned it, he said that he's being misrepresented on the stage. He's doing iftar and needs to pray, but he'll reply afterwards. So, and Shadi's eating as well. Okay. So, Dr. Khalid, do you want to respond to Muhammad?
Yeah, sure. So firstly, the research that I presented in that talk, none of that is from Hamid. So I don't know like where that is coming from. The only thing that Hamid had presented, well, he didn't even present it. There was a debate like last year between Hamid and Yunus. Yunus brought up a hadith that he claimed said 12. Hamid in that debate said no, it means 13. I was watching that debate, so I looked into that hadith, and then I looked into more hadiths. So you could say that another debate triggered the research. But notice, when Hamid made the argument in the debate, Hamid was arguing theologically. He said that you should believe in 13 imams and not 12. Like that was a theological argument. I started with that one hadith and I went much further, okay? And I took that material and I've made a historical argument. Again, you need to realize I'm not telling you that the 13 schema has been taught by your imams. I never made that claim. I'm saying that the 13 schema has been fabricated by another group that has since gone extinct. I don't know why anybody finds that to be threatening. It should not be threatening. If tomorrow we found out that there was an Ismaili group that believed in, I don't know, 40 imams and stopped there, and there was a whole argument for it, I'd just shrug and be like, okay, they don't exist anymore, so it doesn't really do anything. It has nothing to do with me right now. Is this a historical thing? Okay. Now, the other thing you said is the Fatimids and 12. So you just admitted that, okay, there's no advantage to Fatimid theology in this 13 scheme. So then why do you impute an intent on my part that the only reason that I made this whole presentation and applied to a conference is to vindicate the Fatimids when it doesn't help the Fatimids? The 13 scheme doesn't help them because the second Fatimid caliph, who would be 13 under a certain way of counting, he didn't conquer the world. He's not the final Qaim, and we don't believe that. So then you need to stop imputing this intent toward me that I'm trying to, in your words, my whole project is about justifying an Ismaili heresy. No. If I believed in only 13 Imams, ending with the Fatimids, then you could impute the belief to me. But that's not my belief. So you need to like sort of stay away from these sort of like weird claims. Finally, look, I presented evidence. I didn't forget to present all of it because I only had 20 minutes. But I believe the evidence is strong. If you differ with that and you think the evidence is not strong, that's fine. You made your room yesterday and you can give your refutation and you guys can do that. I have no problem with that. I think a little debate, discourse, responses, that's fine. The problem is when you start referring to me as a so called fake PhD, pseudo scholar. This is unprofessional and this is not ethical. And you need to learn some proper adab and some proper akhlaq. Because if you want to be taken seriously, if you disagree with me or any other author, we make a claim. You think it's
Matthew, is that
you.
acceptable, Matthew?
Well, look. To be fair, you have had your fair share of digging in.
No,
He's keeping a
he's
respect.
actually implying that I don't have adab and I don't have akhlaq.
Well,
That's why
yeah,
he's
but
You
I
you
think just
don't.
we
When
look
you
at the
call
one
someone a
second,
fake
Khalid.
PhD or
so
whatever,
he's
you don't
attacking
have
me,
one.
Matthew, and you're not saying anything.
Okay?
No, Muhammad,
No,
Muhammad,
I'm not
Muhammad. Look,
attacking you. I'm describing how you behave toward me. Look, here's a piece of advice. And because I'm not the first academic you're going to want to refute, okay? There's just going to be more. Here's a little tip.
Academics.
Okay? If you want to refute us and you want us to actually pay attention to what you say and take it seriously and think about it once, twice, or three times, you should address us with respect. If you address someone with their basic respect that they're due, I guarantee you they will give an ear to everything you say. And you know what they might do? They might go back and modify their own findings
Wow.
whenever you make a valid point.
So if we're respectful to
If
you,
that's what you really want, like if you want me to go and modify my research because of what you said,
wow, wow.
insulting me at the beginning is not going to make it
Okay,
happen. Like nobody will respond
may
well
I
to
speak,
that.
guys, if you don't mind?
Can I just quickly respond? He addressed me again, and he's using offensive language. So I think I should actually respond to what he said. So now he's saying that. Of course, I will start with the point he mentioned earlier. He's not saying the 13 schema. He's still calling it, a 13 schema. He said he's not saying the 13 schema has been taught by our imams. So do you people of conscience, people of sanity, people with an intellect, people of intelligence, do you see the contradictions here? He said he is not attributing the 13 schema that it has been taught by our imams. But do you know what he's doing? He's attributing the claim by going to chapter 126 of volume 1 of Kitab al-Kafi that has a heading about the 12 Imams. He's going into our Hadith chapter, which specifically it is about providing the explicit ahadith on the fact that there are 12 Imams, which we believe. That is the heading of the chapter. He goes into this chapter, he mutilates our Hadith, and then, when he's caught, pants down, guess what? He's telling you, well, I'm not attributing this schema to your imams. If you're not attributing this schema to our imams, what you should have done, Khalil, you should have brought only the book of Abu Tammam. You should have brought only the book of Abu Tammam and say, this is the book of Abu Tammam. On the basis of the book of Abu Tammam, I am speaking. I will say, well, this is an Ismaili claim. I don't have a problem with you making claims. That's why we can make counter claims. But when you actually go into our hadith, you dishonestly tampering with our hadith, and you've still not answered, on the issue of the first hadith in that chapter. Min wuldil Hasan. I've told you, you've accepted that the wuld here can mean one child. I said if it can mean one child, then it's perfectly in line with our belief. So when you said it's somehow different to the belief in the son of Imam al-Hasan al-Askari, I said this is wrong. This is a false claim. This is a lie. This is a mistake. At least choose one word in order for you to actually, show that you're actually apologetic for the mistake, at least a mistake you have made. You've actually not treated that. He goes, he plays with our hadith and he says, well, I'm not attributing it to the imams. Do you think those hadiths in Al-Kafi, they are from George Bush or they are from the Queen of England?
Can
You
I
said a
Let
bunch
me
of them
finish.
are weak.
can
Let
I
me
say
Okay,
finish.
is a
Let me
daif
finish.
hadith
I
attributed
know,
to
Khalid,
your
I
Dr.
know.
imam?
Khalid,
may I
Dr.
say
Khalid. I'm
Let
so
me
sorry.
Okay,
finish.
Let him finish.
is a
Yeah,
daif
make
hadith
a note.
I'm
attributed to
not
the
done.
imam?
Khalid,
I'm not done.
make a note of what we're just keeping this fair, okay? So just make a note of what he said or anything that you have an issue with, and then. But after Muhammad, we do have to go to Shad. He's been waiting a
Well,
long time.
look,
Please, Khalid,
No
just make a
problem.
note.
I
I've
have
been,
things to do, so I have to go in like 2 minutes. So
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
You
Okay, sure.
listen, man. This is
محمد
actually
بس
very
خليني رد
funny.
عليه.
Please,
why
let
don't
me
you
let me
let
just finish,
Shadley speak,
Shadi, please.
and then I'll
No,
speak,
no,
and
no.
then I have to go.
I know I'm lashing you, Khalil.
Do you see the
Just
point? You're
endure
just
the pain.
proving my point. Why do you have to talk like that?
Endure the
Like,
pain.
do you
And
think any?
you insulted me.
I did not
Endure the
insult
pain.
you.
It's
You
my
are
turn.
literally
Matthew,
look at
please, can
how
you
you
mute him?
speak. Look at how you speak to people.
Matthew, can
You
you
Muhammad,
speak
please
he's
about
mute
leaving.
him?
pants
Muhammad,
down,
he said.
lashing people. What is
Okay,
this,
Khalid.
man? This is
Muhammad,
not
he's
a
leaving.
playground.
He's leaving, and he said he's leaving in 2 minutes. We can't force him to be here. So, do you want to? do you want a response to what you're about to say, or do you want to use the 2 minutes to ask the question, or what do you want to do?
Can I just finish, Matthew? Because
Yeah,
there's
sure.
some point I want to treat.
Yeah, sure.
Let me just finish my points. So now he's saying also, he's not saying, this ahadith are reliable or anything. So if they are not reliable, some of them or many of them, why are you making a theological argument on them? Then he mentions the issue of Abu Tammam, that he was not an Ismaili Fatimid. He was just an Ismaili. Now, you will have to prove this, Besides, this guy, if you go into his book, there are so many inconsistencies in his book. He says, for example, that the Mufaddaliya, he calls us Mufaddaliya, like followers of Mufaddal bin Umar. The Mufaddaliya, actually, they were called Rafidis because they rejected Zayd ibn Ali alayhi salam. This is not correct. So many inconsistencies. So how am I going to rely on this book? Why can't, if you can speculate, you're going to bring from An-Najashi about Hibatullah bin Ahmad relating to Zayd, you go to bring about the Fathis and Abdullah al-Aftah making 13 Imams, or Ja'far, whatever speculation you want to make. You want to fix, you want to bring all this in order for you to actually justify and say, well, the way actually what Abu Tamam is saying is correct. No, these are like inconsistent claims. Again, that's why when Ilyas brought the book of Najashi, the Hadith in Najashi about Hibatullah bin Ahmad, I said this is not related. This is utterly wrong. If you give me the Fathis, I will say it's not related, because Khalil is specifically telling us that there was a 13er sect that believed in 13 Imams. And the Qa'im and the Mahdi are different. Speculations. This is
Yeah.
not a historical claim. This is not an academic way of actually projecting, even hadith or historical accounts. I will ask him here, and he can open his mic and he can answer me. Is there, I asked this in the debate, when he was saying that all the argument was on majaz and taghlib. This is not true. I made two important points. I said there is not a single hadith that contains the word that al-a'imma min ba'di thalatha ashar, that the imams after me, they are 13. There is not one. And all the hadiths that contain the names of the imams, there is not one hadith that contains 13 names. Whether with Imam Ali, like the Musta'liya of the Ismailis, the other branch of the Ismailis, they believe that Imam Ali is the asas. Okay, still you will end up, if we actually had such a belief, you will end up with 13 names. So at least, Khalil, you should now answer this question, and let's see how much integrity you have. I need you to declare it to the room. Was there a hadith from the Prophet that says that the al-a'imma thalatha ashar, the imams are 13? None. 13 names in any hadith? None. The ahadith we have from the imams collectively mentioning the total number of the imams. Whether I even mentioned the hadith that Sheikh al-Tusi mentions in Kitab al-Ghaiba from an Ismaili narrator. What did he say? He said, Imam al-Sadiq said, al-a'imma ithna ashar, the imams are 12. The imams are 12. So where did you get this claim? Where did you get the sect from? Are we going to claim history by speculation? Now, when I call you, I call you a fake doctor and all, it's because you're not academic. It's because you're actually, trying to actually go into polemics, and you don't know how. You don't even know which door to enter. This is the problem. You're relying on Hamid, for God's sake, like a mentally unstable Nasibi. Like this guy may even be marfu' al-qalam. Wallahi al-azim. Today I messaged him. I said, I don't mean to offend you, Hamid, but I think you need therapy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what he reads. Anyway, let me give chance to others.
Okay, I have to go now, so I'm gonna respond.
Okay.
Number one, I did
No,
not make a theological argument.
I
This is
responded
the
to you. If you respond, then I
this
have
is
to
the
respond again. So it's Shadi's turn.
fine.
Yeah,
If
you
No,
I
it's
can,
my
spoke, I
turn now.
if I
responded.
can
You
just make,
spoke once,
It's
twice, I
my turn.
if I
responded
can
each
make an
time.
entry
You
before,
It's
started.
I
it's
have to
my
go
turn.
as well, Khalil. I have to go.
It's my
Sorry.
turn.
Yeah, so
I
if
believe
you
it's.
respond, I will have to if you speak, I will have to respond because you started.
Okay, so you just have to
Yeah,
have the
you
last words,
started.
right?
So
Do you
Shadi has
mind?
been waiting.
Do you
Matthew,
mind
you
if
should
I?
actually moderate this.
Yeah, I agree. He
Well,
should
yeah,
moderate.
I'll moderate it if you keep the personal insults to a minimum. When you
All right.
say fake, look, if Dr. Khalil wanted to, he could probably sue me for allowing defamation, right? Every time you say fake doctor, it triggers a potential lawsuit. So Dr. Khalid is going to have to respond. You did launch another personal insult against him again. I understand if you have a criticism about his account or about his thesis, just deal with the argument.
Okay.
Like, why make these really weird things? So let Dr. Khalid respond, and then we'll go to Shadi.
No, he's not
Well,
responding,
Okay,
Matthew. He's
so
speaking
so
again. You're giving him
Matthew,
another chance to
No,
Matthew,
speak.
Matthew.
Mohammed,
what
you
what
made
is
you
what is
you
No,
this?
no,
got
I
no.
mean,
Mohammed.
I've been
Matthew,
waiting.
Let him
I've been
Come
if
waiting
on,
you
for
man.
15
cannot,
minutes.
Look, look.
if
Why
you're
don't we
not
let
going to be
Shadi
fair,
speak and
no,
then
no, no,
I'll
no.
speak?
It's
No, just
if he's going
Mohammed.
to speak, if he's going to speak and he's going to direct any
We can end
statement
this
against me,
entire. We
Yeah,
I
can.
no
should be
worries,
given
no
another
worries.
turn to
That's
speak
fine.
and
Mohammed,
Shadi
That's
is
you
on
End
the
this
fine.
way.
cannot
entire
defame
conversation.
somebody and then be
It's
like,
fine,
don't
Mohammed.
I
respond.
am not
You can't.
defaming
That
you,
that is
Khalil.
not
I
proper.
listen. I'm not
Calling
defaming
me a
you,
fake
and
doctor is
I
defamation.
do not deny. Listen to me. I'm not defaming you.
خلصونا
I
طيب.
don't deny you say you
Calling
have
me
a
not an
PhD on
academic is
Harvard, but
defamation.
based,
That is
my friend,
defamation.
based on
That's
what you presented
defamation.
yesterday or day before yesterday, no, you're not to be respected.
Well, there you go. So then, frankly, Mohammed, if that's your attitude toward me, then I don't want to have a conversation with you. I don't
Yeah,
speak to
I'm
people
not
who
even
don't
dying.
respect
I'm
me.
not killing myself to have a
So,
conversation with you.
bro, you were begging me to come to the room. It's on
No,
WhatsApp.
I'm not
You were
begging you
like
to.
on
You
your
see,
knees
this is
begging
why
me, oh,
Goodness.
come back to
I
our
call
room.
him a
Come
liar
back
and
to
I
our
don't
room.
respect
Like,
him because
bro,
he
if
lies.
you don't,
Khalil actually
okay,
Anyway,
so
lies.
that's
anyway.
it. So
He
Can we
so
fled
just
you're
when
wait?
not worth
when
it.
Shadi
Can we just
when
end this
Shadi
whole
actually
You're not
spoke to
worth
you,
conversation?
it.
Can we
You're
when
just
not
end
Shadi
worth
this
the
whole
spoke to you to the
conversation.
conversation?
audience, I didn't want you to leave because you were
You don't
trapped.
have
Till
Adab.
now,
When
you have
you
not
say to
answered my
somebody
first
that I
question.
don't respect
You've not
you,
answered my
then you're
question.
not worthy of a conversation.
You're
You're
not
just a
worthy
child.
of a
Yo,
conversation.
guys,
You're not
Then
let's
why
worthy
are
of
you
a
begging me to
conversation.
come
like
talk
guys,
to
you guys are
you?
both fighting, man. No one can even hear what you guys are saying. Let's let Shadi speak, and then whoever after that. But Shadi says he has to
Okay.
go.
Yeah, no,
Let him
let
say a
Shadi
couple
speak,
words.
and then I'm going to respond.
Okay.
Okay.
Hamd Rafid. Khalil is saying that, making the claim that the best explanation for the linguistic structure of Hadith number 1 is that there exists a 13th group, a group that believe in 13 Imam. Khalil, you have absolutely no substantiation for this claim. Absolutely zero. Your argument, if you're using this narration in and of itself, okay,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm not
you are
using
trying to,
Hadith number 1.
you're, right, you said Hadith number 1, the best explanation
No, I never said
is that
that.
there, okay,
Stop
yes you did.
But
interrupting
he
him.
Okay.
can't even
Be
get what
quiet.
I'm
Khalil,
saying right. It's very
No, let
frustrating.
him
you,
finish.
Shadi,
you
You've
use,
spoken a
okay,
Hadith
lot. Let
number
him
so
1.
finish.
I'll
Shadi,
ask you,
Matthew,
I want you to, I
Khalid,
don't
Matthew,
want you to
this is
waste
one
your
quiet.
second.
time. I did
Oh my
not use
goodness.
Khalid.
Hadith number 1 in my
Okay, so
So let
argument.
Shadi let
what
Shadi
was the
finish. Let
purpose?
Shadi finish, and then
Okay,
whatever if he made a mistake, then
we
feel
can,
free
I
to
can, I
correct him.
can ask you, Khalil, so I don't misquote you. What was the purpose of you mentioning Hadith number 1?
Okay, when I began the presentation, I divided the 20 Hadith in the chapter of Kafi into 3 groups. Group 1 was 12 Imams, exactly. Group 2 were ambiguous hadiths. They could correspond to 12 or to more than 12. Group number 3 was 12 plus 1 Imams.
Okay, so which one does the Hadith number 1 fall under?
Ambiguous.
Okay, so by ambiguous you mean from which aspect?
So ambiguous means it does not strictly necessitate or entail the 12 Imam framework.
Okay.
It could also entail a 12 plus 1.
Okay, so
Ambiguous.
now going off the linguistics purely, that is incorrect. Okay, there is no linguistic path. There's nothing in the Arabic. There is nothing for and with all due respect, I challenge you, Khalil, okay, to provide me any type of Arabic analysis, any type of meta-analysis that allows you to extract the idea of 12 plus 1 or a possible idea of 12 plus 1 from the narration. The narration states, رَجُلٌ مِّن وِلْدِ الْحَسَنِ. رَجُلٌ is, in Arabic, a singular form. Okay? It means a single person. رَجُلٌ مِّن وَلْدِهِ or مِّن وَلْدِ الْحَسَنِ means a single person from the descendants of Hassan who will be an Imam. This is what the Arabic is saying. So the only thing you can say is ambiguous is perhaps, well, the Imam is not the direct son of the 11th Imam. perhaps the Imam is the great-great-great-grandson. But nowhere does this narration state that there are 13 Imams, nor can you interpret it as such. It doesn't exist. Now, now to remove this claim that it's ambiguous, it's simple. The context of the hadith is very, very clear. There are 11 Imams. The true religion that Al-Khidr is coming to tell you contains 11 Imams. Ali bin Abi Talib, Hassan bin Ali, Hussein bin Ali, alayhim salam, all the way to the 11th Imam, Hassan al-Askari. If an angel came to you today, Khalil, okay, or even came to you at that time period and told you, look at all these other groups, look at all of these religions, the correct religion is these 11 Imams and an Imam who will come from the children of Hassan. Are you telling me that he is not telling you which path to follow and it's ambiguous? Or is it clear that the son of Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam is the Imam because the only creed at that time, the context, Khalid. You're claiming to be using the historical method. Historical method uses historical context. The context of the narration, the context of the events that were going on at that time. Even if I was, honestly, even if I was coming from a skeptical point of view, I would never have reached that conclusion. I would say the Imamis made this hadith up, they fabricated it, and this is evident due to the lines of Imams and due to the people who are narrating the narration. The narration literally has two people from Jawad. Two people. It's from the book, also from the book of Hisham, who narrates directly from Jawad. And the book of Hisham was present with At-Tabrasi. The exact book that Kulaini is quoting from was mutawatir. It was widespread. People were quoting it left and right. For example, you have in I'lam al-Wara, the book is quoted and has the same exact hadith. So in this book, we also, this is an Imami narration through and through. The historical context does not give, to say that, oh, the best explanation is 12 plus 1, my friend. Come on.
Okay, Shadi, what do you know about the historical context when Hassan Askari died?
That's a very, very vague question. What do you? So
you've claimed
that
the historical context does not support the existence of a group other than those who believe in only 12 Imams. You just said
that's
that.
Not what I said. No.
That's what you said. You said there's no basis to claim that it's anyone other than the 12
You're
groups.
straw manning me. I'll repeat what I said.
That's what you... Okay, say it
No,
again.
I said, if you looked at all the other madhahib at the time, that's what I...
How many... You just repeated yourself.
Right. I didn't say how many. I said, you're saying that no other group existed. I said no.
No,
out of
you're
all of
saying
the other
no
madhahib.
other group
You're not listening
existed.
to me. I didn't say that. I said, out of all of the other groups that existed, Khalil, if an angel came to you and told you...
I don't care about the angel part. I'm talking about the hadith. So we know there's a group that existed.
I'll repeat myself for the room. You're not listening to me.
No,
I never said that.
Okay, you can repeat yourself one more time, and then I'm going to respond. Go.
Okay, I can repeat myself 20 times. If you're not going to listen to me...
You can be here all night then.
And comprehend what I'm saying to you, that's fine. Go to bed. Honestly, Khalid, you think that we
Again, repeat your claim, and then I'm going to respond.
Okay, it's not a claim. It's a fact.
Clarify what you meant, and then I'll respond.
Other groups, I was very clear. I said other groups existed at the time of Hassan al-Askari. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, did you not hear me say that? I clearly said that, and this is the third time saying it. I said there is a group groups who existed at the time of Hassan al-Askari. We have hadith. For example, Mufaddal bin Umar, he went to Jafar al-Sadiq, and Jafar al-Sadiq said to Mufaddal, this is in Kitab al-Kafi, Ya Mufaddal, during the time of the Imam, there will be 12 groups who will arise. This is not a Kitab al-Kafi. You think that you're coming up with something that we never heard of? We're telling you that when the context of the hadith is taken into account, this is an Imami 12-ver narration. When you look at the sources of the narration, look at the wording, look at the context, the only group who followed a hidden son of the 11th Imam were the current Ithna Ashari Shia group. These other groups followed Ja'far, they followed the Fathiyya, Al-Waqifa. You have different groups, for example, who are not even alive today. These make up the 12. Those who followed the hidden son of Imam Hassan al-Askari, they're called Al-Qat'iyya, meaning...
Okay, can I respond?
Go ahead.
Okay, there was another group that followed the hidden son of Hassan Askari and believed he was not the final Imam, he was not the Qaim, but one of his descendants would be the Qaim. That group existed. Nawbakti mentions the group, Masudi mentions the group, and this hadith is entirely compatible with that group. That's
Okay.
why I said it's
Bring
ambiguous.
the evidence. Bring the
Okay.
evidence.
Let
It's
me
not
ask you a
there.
question.
The evidence is
Ilyas
not there.
already
Wallah, it's
shared
not
one.
there.
1 second.
Masudi is a
That's fine.
Shia.
No. It's not.
That's
It's
evidence.
not. It's not.
Okay.
Okay,
1 second,
so
No,
Muhammad.
no,
if a
no.
historian telling us
Khalil.
that there's a group,
Khalil.
hold on, what is evidence? So we have a Shia historian, Masudi.
So there's an extinct group that existed. So me as a Shia today...
Today they're extinct, bro. We're not talking. I'm talking about, what we historians do is, you just said it. You have to interpret the hadith
Did
in
they
its
believe in
original.
Did they believe in 13 imams?
No, they believed in
Okay,
a
thank you very
continuous
much.
number of imams. But that wasn't my claim. I never used hadith
Wait, I'm sorry.
number
What did they
one.
believe in? What did they
They
believe in?
believed in a continuous number of imams from
The-
Hassan Askari onward.
Okay, so this hadith cuts the number to 12,
No,
not to
it does not.
13, 14.
This
It
hadith
does.
has 11.
Masoudi does not say that.
Yes, he
Masoudi does
does.
not say that.
Yes, he does.
Wallah, it
It's in
doesn't say
what
that.
Ilyas
No.
shared.
Okay.
And
He didn't
this
mention.
hadith,
He didn't
this
mention a group.
hadith,
He didn't mention a group.
yes, he
He
Anyway.
did.
didn't mention a group.
Yes, he did. Ilyas
So
showed it.
wait. So what you're
Hey,
saying,
but
Khalid,
Ilyas,
1
read
second,
the
Muhammad.
Tanbih.
Muhammad,
I
one more
read
second.
the text with
Muhammad,
you.
Muhammad, 1
What's
second,
wrong with you
Muhammad, 1
guys?
second. Khalil, what you're telling me then, the best
Yeah.
explanation is that this extinct group fabricated this hadith. That's what you're saying?
Yes. Okay, again, I call the hadith ambiguous. So this hadith that the
Wow.
Qa'im is min
Based
wuldi
on what?
Hassan. Well, the hadith says that the Qa'im is min wuldi Hassan. Okay.
Okay.
So that hadith can easily comply with this other group, which we know existed, that did not have a fixed number of imams. It
Okay.
is also compatible with the 12 Imam Qatiyya.
Fine.
That's why I called it ambiguous.
So-
But when I'm making the case for 13, I never use the Kidr hadith to bolster the existence of the 13 group because it doesn't have 13.
Anyway, this narration does not contain any mention of 13 imams.
I agree.
This narration...
I agree.
Okay, you agree
Yeah,
then. Let's move
I
on.
agree. Yeah.
You're saying to me that there is evidence that overweighs the imami source. You're saying that there was another group
Yeah.
who believed in 13 imams
Yes.
who fabricated this hadith, correct?
Not the one we're talking about. There are other hadith, such as the one in Sulaim, Ali, you and 12 of your descendants are the imams. These types of hadiths have been fabricated by the 13er group.
No serious scholar, and I challenge you, no serious academic scholar who knows how hadith manuscripts work will ever say Kitab Sulaim teaches 13 imams. Kitabs, but forget.
Your
But
own scholars have said this.
No, they haven't. You see, now you're
Yes,
lying.
they have.
Now
Ilyas
you're lying.
even gave one example.
No.
One of your own scholars said this.
There are scribe. 1 second. Ibn al-Ghadari was talking about a section in Kitab Sulaim that is a clear and utter. It's so obvious it's a manuscript error. It's not even mentioned because the entire book of Kitab Sulaim constantly and repeatedly talks about 12 imams without any ambiguity. It completely tells you 11 imams from the descendants of Ali bin Abi Talib.
And 2 times it says
the nine
12 descendants
so
of
what,
Ali bin
So
Abi
what you're
Talib.
telling me is,
Even
is,
quote from
one second,
Kitab
allow me to
Sulaim
finish.
and
Allow me to
Masudi
finish. Allow me
says
to finish.
Ali and 12.
Allow me
So
to
I don't know
finish.
how you-
Allow me to
Let's
finish. Allow me to
let Shadi
finish. Allow me to finish.
Go ahead,
The entire manuscript, from the front page to the back of the page, teaches 12 imams because there's 2 spaces. There's 2 places in the book where it says 13 or 12. It doesn't say 13, by the way. Where it says 12 from the children. You're telling me that the person who concocted this manuscript was initially teaching 12, and then in 2 places he was teaching 13.
Actually, Kitab Sulaim, according to the scholarship, has evolved and has been interpolated
Uh,
over 200, 300 years. So
okay.
actually, you can't look at Kitab Sulaim manuscript today as this is the work of one
There
author.
are
It's
four
not.
manuscripts. There are four
But
manuscripts. Well, let
It,
me
it
answer that.
doesn't matter. It's
Al
not the work of
Khuwaini,
one
Al
author, and
Khuwaini,
everybody knows this.
Al Khuwaini. Every single manuscript on the face of this earth, and there was a 3-volume book written on it. I read every page of that book. It's from Al Khuwaini. Every single manuscript on the face of this earth, every single one, Khalil, that we have in
Yeah.
existence today, the
Yes.
vast majority of those manuscripts, from the first page to the last page, teaches 12 imams.
Plus 2 hadith in your
No,
manuscript that
th-
say 13.
those hadith are a part of the manuscripts.
Exactly my point. Thank you.
Exact.
You just
Okay. So
yeah.
wait,
So
wait, wait,
they
wait.
have
So those
13. They have
no,
12
no,
plus
no, no.
one.
If anything, okay. So you're proving our point.
but Shadi, let him respond as well.
My
If the
Go
friend,
manuscripts, if the manuscripts, no, now you're dancing around. Look,
no.
these
Can you find
manuscripts.
me one manuscript of Kitab Sulaim where the two places which have 12 plus one in another manuscript they don't have 12 plus one?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
go do it.
Yeah,
Do it
they
because
exist.
you won't find it.
Yeah, they do. You don't listen, Khalil.
You're
Look,
making an empty
I
claim
am not
now.
making any empty claim. Every single
Okay, then,
manuscript. One second.
okay,
Let me finish. Let me
go.
finish. Allow
You
me to finish.
go and
Let me
find us
allow me to
manuscripts
finish.
of Kitab
Allow me
Sulaim
to ask you
where
a
there is
question,
no 12 plus one,
Khalil.
because
Khalil.
Ibn
Allow me to
Nadim
ask this question.
quoted Kitab
No,
let him
Sulaim.
get his
no.
idea out, Shadi, and then your
Okay,
question. Let
He's
him get his
not.
idea.
He's wasting our
I
time,
understand,
guys. Look.
but let him finish it anyways.
so look, in Kitab Sulaim, as you have, firstly, the manuscript you have today is a product of evolution. That
That's
is what
according
this.
to your claim.
No, not my claim.
That's
According
according
to.
to Orientalist claim.
Well, you guys are accusing me of
Who are
being
you
a bad
guys?
academic, but that's what it means to be
We
an
don't. You
academic. So
you
now
are
you need to pick.
Orientalism. Listen.
Again, you've
Orientalism.
accused me of not following academia, and when
You're
I
not.
cite academia, you say no, we don't follow it.
Just
So this is
because
a
you
bit of a double
cite,
standard.
no. You going into Kitab al-Kafi using the first hadith al-Khidr to say that, oh, this hadith was concocted by a 13er group. That's ridiculous.
I didn't say hadith
You
number one
just
was
said.
concocted.
You
No, I
just said
didn't.
that. You just said that there was a group that believed in 13, 14, 15, 16 imams who concocted this
Yeah,
hadith.
I
That's what you're
said.
saying.
Okay, that's different from saying the 13er group
Oh,
did that. I
oh,
didn't
but
say
no,
the
but
13er group did that.
a 16 or 17 or 18er group did it. That's what you're
The
saying.
continuous group,
Ah,
which we
okay.
know existed, that's their hadith.
That's Khalil. With all due respect, we both know that's laughable.
Oh, Shadi, you are
You have
laughable. Like,
absolute.
this is a
Now you want to
comedy
insult me?
show. I think if you took an
Okay,
intro
thank
to
you for
Islam
attacking me.
class at
Khalil, you're
college,
not.
you would fail the
Khalil,
class
listen, I
with
have
this
more
attitude.
education in my pinky toe about hadith than you have in your whole curriculum, Habibi Khalil.
Okay, it's very
Don't act
simple.
arrogant. Listen, don't
All
attack
you
me.
need to do,
Be
Shadi, no,
professional.
here's
All
a
you need to
challenge.
do.
Yeah, let's be
Listen, go
professional.
work. Okay,
Here's
now
a
that you
challenge
attacked
for
me,
you.
attack me, I would like to
Just,
attack you.
just
Go worship your
expose.
49 boat, man.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
Don't
there you
there's
Now,
go. Go
don't do that.
worship
I
your
challenge
49
you
Stay,
to
boat.
do
stay
that.
academic.
Write
Yeah,
a
yeah.
peer-reviewed
Also,
article
Write a peer-reviewed
stating your
article, my
views
friend.
or
Go
present it
learn
at a
the Arabic.
peer-reviewed conference. It should be very easy for you.
Learn the Arabic
Okay,
that,
all
well,
right.
that's
alphabet,
enough.
and
It's
then
been
I,
your
switch
okay,
on
time.
guys,
back.
Both
we're
of
not
Thank
you
gonna
guys
you.
do that. We're not gonna
Disparaging
do that in one
others is the
second.
only
Alif,
way for you to
ba,
like feed your
ta,
insecurities. I
tha,
understand and I
Okay,
kha,
Shadi,
empathize,
listen.
but
ha.
We can't hear. We
you
can't
should
hear
get
you.
some
Shadi,
This is
mental
Shadi,
health.
confusing.
Shadi,
If
I
you're
think we
speaking
should
over
You should
open
someone.
get
a
some
room. Let's
mental
open
health
a room,
help
Shadi.
on this
One
because
second.
this
One
is
second.
Shadi,
ridiculous.
One second. Okay, Shadi, let Khalid just kind of respond. Okay, well, he's gone. All
Guys, I
right.
didn't attack him. He attacked me first. He said that you're laughable. This guy is a clown. He acts like he wants to be professional. Then when you put him into a corner, he wants to say Kitab Sulaim teaches 13 imams. There is not a single manuscript on the face of this earth. Not a single manuscript where the vast majority of that manuscript contains 12 imams. If there is a page or 2 page that says 12, that's because there was a manuscript error. How do we know that? We know that because the vast majority of the manuscript in question itself contains 12 imams. What kind of academia is he referring to? I mean, this is a joke, Khalil. Just please, just stay in your corner, light some candles, light 49 candles for your imam, and just please stop with the istihmar uqul nas, please. This is like istihmar to our intellects, please. With all
Shadi,
due
I have a
respect.
question, Shadi. What you trying, just to clarify, what you're trying to say is some of the manuscripts on those two hadiths that contain the word 12 as descendants of Imam Ali, some of them actually differ among themselves, the manuscripts.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question again? I was lighting some
So,
candles.
so for example, let's say, like, let's say John 3:16 in the Bible, for God so loved the world,
Yeah,
like this, they are actually manuscript that do not, contain the word begotten.
exactly. No, no, no.
So, like
Muhammad, there
the
must have
Revised
been a
Standard.
group, exactly. So there must have been a group somewhere who didn't believe in the begotten Son
No,
because
no,
the
just no.
manuscript, right?
There's a serious
Yeah,
question. I'm not forget Al Khalil. What I'm trying to say is, this two hadiths, there must be, a scribal error or maybe some way to explain them, which we touched on yesterday. But now what I'm saying, I'm talking about the manuscripts. Are there, like, on these two hadiths, differing manuscripts that kind of, like, for example,
hmm,
the hadith in Kulaini, in Al-Kafi of Al-Shaykh Al-Kulaini, and in the Asl, they are different.
no.
Do we have such a thing in regards to these two hadiths in Kitab Sulaim?
We do, yes. So the narrations that mention 12, there are variations for this that does mention 11. So for example, the narrations that
Subhanallah.
say 12 from the sons of Ali ibn Abi Talib, you will find variations where it says 11. And that's why that's what I'm saying. Guys, there's a 3-volume book from Al-Khuwaini. He talks about every single manuscript of Kitab Sulaim. He talks about every single variation and where these books are found. These books are found in Al-Kafi, Sheikh Saduq's books, Kitab al-Ghayb of the-Nu'mani. And Nu'mani, he says, I had the book in my hand. And he says the book was so famous, no Shi'i ever doubted the manuscript of Kitab Sulaim up to his point. And not only that, he said it is from Asl min usul min al-usul. That's what he said. Akbaru asl min usulina. That's what he said. He said it is one of the biggest asls from our usul. And he said this was in circulation amongst the ashab of the Shia. And every single manuscript that exists from that time to today, if you look at them, they will all teach that there were 12 Imams after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sometimes you will find 1 or 2 pages in those same exact manuscripts which teach 12 Imams. You will find, for example, 12 from Ali, or 12 from, or it'll never say 13. It will always say, if there's a mistake, it will say, instead of writing 11 from Ali, it will write 12. Why? Because every time they see the word Imam, subconsciously they're writing 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. Sometimes when they come across the word Imam, subconsciously they'll just write 12. This has happened before. We have evidence of this. For example, in Kitab al-Kafi, this happened twice. This happened twice. This happened in the Asl of Abu Sa'id al-Asfuri. And I don't know if he's being ignorant on purpose. He said, oh, well, the manuscripts of Al-Kafi all say 12. Habibi, the oldest manuscript of Al-Kafi is from 650 Hijri. The manuscript evidence we have for Kitab al-Kafi is late. Any developments that took
No,
place...
Asfari's manuscript is even later.
No, yeah, that's fine. But Al-Asfuri, okay, his manuscript is what do you call it? Is quoted by Ibn Shahr Ashub. Ibn Shahr Ashub is telling you, I
Yeah,
have...
they'll say, I'll tell you what they'll say. They'll say, Talakbari has the redaction. Talakbari does the redaction. He puts 11 in place of 12.
So, okay, that's the case then, Elias. If they want to
Can I
defeat...
say something?
1 second, Malik. The only way they can defeat this argument is if they say, Talakbari, he changed the narration.
Yeah, that's what they say.
So,
That's what
yeah,
I'm
this
telling
is the
you.
problem.
Bro,
This is the problem with that.
the thing is,
Yeah, yeah.
Khalil is not an expert on this topic. I
Yes.
am telling you what experts like Hussain Mudarrisi and Kohlberg would say,
Hmm.
right? Actually, this debate was in the academic circles. It's Mudarrisi who brought this particular debate in circulation. So, like, if you read his discussions, then like on this point, he tries to answer every narration basically. So on this one, he would say like Talakbari did the redaction. He changed the Ahad Ashar, the Isna Ashar to Ahad Ashar.
I see. But anyway, if you look at the usul, it's well known that these usul, by the way, were mutadawil bain al-ashab. Like they were bain al-ashab. They were widespread. They were famous, Elias. They were all over the Islamic, the Shia community. These usul were famous. Okay, so it's hard for me to accept that. Okay, Talakbari, he
Yeah,
simply
they'll say we don't have any redaction, we don't have any version apart from Talakbari.
right. But anyway, moving on from that, if they want to claim that, one of our scholars faked it, then you can claim that for anything, Ilyas. You can come and say, Saduq faked all his hadith,
Yeah,
quoting
this is
this
this is what
hadith.
they say. This is
I
what they
mean,
say.
if you want to be skeptical and say, well, you know what, I'm going to answer your objection by saying someone did an oopsie or
Yeah,
someone just
no.
faked it.
His argument is based on what evidence. It's based on what Mas'udi says in Al-Tanbih, that I did not find any narration on 12 except from Kitab Sulaim ibn Qais.
Al-Mas'udi.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah,
if you look at our
so
books, one
the
second, Faisal.
statement of Mas'udi,
Go ahead.
he's talking about the hasr. Even Mas'udi is even promoting the I. This is why when he was appealing to the ten. By the way, I saw this reference even before my room yesterday. That's at Tanbih of Al Mas'udi. In this book, Mas'udi is talking specifically about the hasr, the restriction of the number of imams to 12. And then, he quoted Kitab Sulaim, that this is only found in Kitab Sulaim. This, in and of itself, this statement by Mas'udi is wrong. Why is it wrong?
Go ahead. I'm going to say why he said it after you're done.
Yeah, it's actually wrong because even if we go to, for example, Kitab al-Ghaiba of At-Tusi or Kitab al-Ghaiba of Al-Nu'mani, we see so many narrations about 12 imams from other than Kitab Sulaim. Even for example, in Al-Kafi, we see other narrations that don't go to Kitab Sulaim, even in Basair al-Darajat. Tayyib, if you want to tell me that Mas'udi is making such a claim, I will tell you this is historical, even though he is a historian. This is historically inaccurate for Mas'udi to say that the number 12, the hasr, restricting the number of imams to 12, this is only based on Kitab Sulaim. And then he quotes, a wrong hadith about, Imam Ali alayhi salam and 12 of his descendants. We'll say this is wrong, or we are going to find an explanation about taghlib or about majaz or whatever, or maybe scribal error. These are three ways out. But the claim that Mas'udi is making, is it historical? No, it's not historical, because there are so many other references. Basair al-Darajat alone, disproves this, and Kifayat al-Athar. So Mas'udi is wrong.
If you want to look at, okay, so we have a book called Ithbat al-Hudat by Sheikh Hul al-Amali. If you look at his book, he mentions all of the narrations regarding 12. Okay. And I'll tell you why Mas'udi said that, what he said. You see, when you go to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and you ask him, Ya Rasulullah, how many imams will be after you? He says 12. Mas'udi doesn't understand this as restriction. He doesn't. But all of you now hearing this narration, you would think, yeah, there's a restriction here. He's asking you the question. He's asking the Prophet a question. How many imams are after you? He says 12. So we understand that. What Mas'udi wants is 12 faqat. That's it. He wants that confirmation, that seal, that's obvious. Other than that, if you look into our books, you see constantly. For example, the famous narration from, I'll prove to you what Mas'udi said was wrong. I'll give you one example. This is a mutawatir hadith, if not mashhur. Right? They go to Abdullah bin Mas'ud. They say, Oh Abdullah, did your Prophet inform you of how many imams there will be after him? He said, yes. The number of tribes after Musa alayhi salam, there will be 12 in number. This narration is very, very famous. If not mutawatir, it's mashhur. You find it in Kitab al-Ghaiba, the Sheikh al-Tusi. You find it in the Kitab of al-Ghaiba, the Nu'mani. You find it in Kifayat al-Athar. You find it in Sheikh al-Saduq's books. You find it in Kashf al-Ghamma. You find it in all of these books. You find this
They say this is a later redaction.
And also in Sunni books, Ilyas.
Yeah, no, I know about this hadith, of course.
Yeah.
I'm
Can
telling you.
someone accept?
I'm
Sorry,
telling
can
you
someone
what they
accept Haidar?
would say.
Okay.
I accepted him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So another thing, guys, brothers and sisters, I want to mention one more thing before I leave, because I've taken up a lot of your time. Okay, look, when it comes to the number of imams, it's not real. Sheikh al-Mufid, what would Sheikh al-Mufid tell you? He would laugh. He would be like, okay, why do I care about some hadith saying 12 imams? I don't place my religion on by the way, he doesn't place his religion on mutawatir ma'nawi. He doesn't believe the concept of mutawatir ma'nawi came later on. We didn't have that back then. They didn't talk like that. For Shaykh al-Mufid, the number of imams doesn't come down to narrations such as that. It comes down to very famous, widespread narrations. For example, the narrations of the 12 seals. Ilyas, you know what I'm talking about, right? The 12 seals narration, the narration of 12 seals. Every imam gets the seal, he removes it. The narration of the tablet. You guys know this narration, right? The
Yeah,
tablet that
they'll
came to
say,
Fatima. Yeah.
they'll say
They'll say,
that's
oh, it's made
also a
up, blah, blah,
later
blah. I know, I
reduction.
know. But if we look in the books of our early scholars, we look in the books of our early mutaqaddimun, they will say this narration existed in both Sunni and Shia sources, and it's actually a very famous hadith. And he'll also tell you, Shaykh al-Mufid will say to you, even if these narrations don't exist, I can still prove to you, intellectually, using the Book of Allah, and using narrations which are indeed agreed upon by everybody, I can prove to you that the name of every single imam just by debating you and just by using principles of the intellect. That's what he would say. And he has said it before, because someone came to him and said to him, oh, look, come here, Shaykh al-Mufid. You say Ja'far al-Sadiq is an imam. He'll say, yeah. He'll say, okay, prove to me with a mutawatir hadith. By the way, we don't have a mutawatir hadith that says Ja'far al-Sadiq is the 6th imam. We don't. We don't have mutawatir narrations that say Muhammad al-Baqir is the 5th imam, except for the ones I mentioned already. So what do we do here? We have to base our belief on certainty. Shaykh al-Mufid responded. He said, when using principles of sifat al-imam, the sifat of the imam, when you use the principles of the intellect, when you use the principles such as the imam must be clear, he must be the most knowledgeable, his imama is like a light bulb in a dark room. It's obvious. The proof is there. Okay? He says we have no need to recourse to textual proof. We can use the intellect to prove every single imam that we have. And this is the case. If I want to ask someone, I say, what's the sifat of the imam? Perfection, knowledge, bravery, all of the beautiful qualities that imams have. And I say, okay, go look at Agha Khan, the 49th imam. Does he have that? This isn't my argument, by the way. This is an academic... Sorry. This isn't my argument, by the way. This is an argument from academics. They have a blog. I think you guys know who I'm talking about. Okay, they have a blog. They talk about... I think he's even Lebanese. One is Lebanese, I think one is Iraqi. Okay? Brother Bilal, I think, has a blog as well. I don't know if he was the author, but he talks about this. The designation of the imam using the principles of the intellect. When your intellect looks at Agha Khan, and you look at him and you use your mind and you think, okay, does my fitrah, does my intellect, does my spirit, does this man prove himself that he is the ruler of the universe, that he is the teacher of Musa al-Kadhim? You're telling me this Agha Khan, this 49er, 49th imam, is better than Musa al-Kadhim? Is that what you're telling me? So, I mean, do we really need to go into this debate of, oh, Mas'udi says this, and Kitab al-Kafi says that, and you're Asl, and I have a historical, blah, blah, blah. Please, man, spare us, please.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, I think Muhammad Rafid, I think you wanted I don't know if you wanted to host a room or... So I think the main points have been dealt with here, I guess.
I just want,
Can I make
everybody
a
to see.
statement?
I just want to... I need to go, actually. And I think... I don't know if Ilyas, if he's back or whatever. So I think maybe we can have the discussion in Rafid's room.
Maybe if Malik can, because he has been waiting to speak, I will mute myself.
Yeah, just if you Malik, just very quickly, and then I'll just
Really quick, like
yes,
I
go ahead.
just need less than a minute. In reality, we have a logical concept that the simplest answer is usually the truth. What is the simplest answer? Is it more probable that someone made a mistake because they're thinking about something on their mind, or is it more probable that some astonishing secret organization fabricated the hadith? Which is more problem? Which is simpler? The simpler
Exactly.
answer is someone made a mistake.
Exactly.
End of
I
conversation.
mean, yeah.
I
I
don't need
mean,
to make a huge deal about it. I
Ahsan.
don't need to do a lot of research. It's simply answered. End of story. Thank you for allowing me to
Malik.
speak.
Jazakallah. Okay, I'm just going to bring it to the end. Yeah,
Okay,
so feel free to open a
Matthew,
room
thank
or
you for the
whatever.
room. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Matthew,
Have a good day.
I hope the replays will be preserved.
yeah. Why wouldn't
Yeah,
they?
thank you very much.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Speak to you soon, inshallah.
Wa alaikum salam.